Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to everyone. You are listening to another inspiring episode of our AI TEVTA Teachers Training Bootcamp Batch 4 in collaboration with Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute. I am your host Waqas Iqbal, instructor at the Center of Excellence for Training and Development, Lahore. Today's topic is how less can lead to more. In a world full of distractions, we often think that having more possessions, more options, or more goals means more success. But sometimes the real growth happens when we simplify our lives and focus on what truly means. To explore this beautiful idea, we have our special guest ChatGPT with us today. Together, we will talk about how doing less can actually help us achieve more. Let's we begin. Welcome, ChatGPT. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and excited to dive into today's topic. Let's get started.
Okay. ChatGPT, what does the phrase less can lead to more really means?
The phrase less can lead to more essentially means that by simplifying our lives and focusing on what truly matters, we can actually achieve greater fulfillment and success. It's about quality over quantity and finding depth and impact in fewer, more meaningful things.
Why
What's your
do
next?
people often believe that doing more means achieving more?
A lot of people believe that doing more equals achieving more because of societal pressures and the constant emphasis on productivity and success. It's easy to equate busyness with progress, but often it leads to burnout and a lack of focus. Do you have any other question?
How can simplicity help us focus better in life?
Simplicity helps us focus better by reducing distractions and allowing us to channel our energy and attention toward what truly matters. When we have fewer commitments and possessions, it's easier to prioritize and make intentional choices that align with our goals. What's your next question?
Exactly. Do you think minimalism is only about material things or is it a mindset?
Minimalism is definitely more of a mindset than just about material possessions. It's about intentionally choosing what adds value to your life and letting go of what doesn't, whether that's physical items, commitments, or even mental clutter.
As
Do
I am instructor, how I apply this concept less is more approach in classroom?
As an instructor, you can apply the less is more approach by focusing on quality content and meaningful interactions rather than overwhelming students with too much information. You can streamline lessons, emphasize core concepts, and encourage deep understanding. It's also helpful to create a focused, clutter-free learning environment. What's the next question?
Yeah, you are right. Can simplifying goals make them easier to achieve?
Absolutely. Simplifying goals makes them more manageable and clear, which helps in maintaining focus and motivation. When goals are broken down into smaller, more achievable steps, it's easier to track progress and stay committed. Do you have any other question?
Okay, if I am busy in other works, if I say no to unnecessary tasks, is this improve productivity?
Yes, absolutely. Saying no to unnecessary tasks helps you protect your time and energy, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. This in turn boosts productivity and ensures that your efforts are directed toward meaningful outcomes. What's your next question?
Okay, if I want to tell my students that uh, the role of clarity in the less is more philosophy, how can I explain to my students?
You can explain that clarity helps students understand their priorities and goals more effectively. When they have a clear vision of what's important, it becomes easier to eliminate distractions and focus on meaningful tasks. This clarity ultimately leads to better learning outcomes and less overwhelm. What's your next question?
How can we balance between doing less and being lazy?
Balancing the two is all about intentionality. Doing less means focusing on what truly matters and being productive in meaningful ways, whereas laziness is more about avoidance and lack of effort. The key is being mindful and ensuring that the simplicity serves your goals and not just procrastination. What's your next question?
Can cutting down distractions really increase creativity?
Yes, definitely. Cutting down distractions helps create a clearer mental space, which allows for deeper focus and more creative thinking. With fewer interruptions, the mind can explore ideas more freely and come up with innovative solutions. What's your next question?
How does less help reduce stress and burnout?
When we do less, we naturally avoid overcommitting ourselves, which reduces the pressure and the mental load. This leads to better work-life balance, more time for rest, and ultimately less stress and burnout, allowing us to recharge and perform better in the long run. What's your next question?
Why do we struggle to let go of things or commitments that don't serve us?
Often we struggle because of attachment, habit, or even fear of missing out. We might feel a sense of obligation or worry that letting go will lead to negative consequences. Overcoming that requires building awareness and trust that simplifying will ultimately bring more value and peace. What's your next question?
What's a simple step anyone can take to start living with less?
A great first step is to declutter one small area of your life, whether it's your workspace, your schedule, or even your digital files. By removing just a few unnecessary items or commitments, you can immediately create more space and clarity. What's your next question?
How can teachers like me use the less is more idea to make learning more effective?
Teachers can use the less is more approach by focusing on key concepts and ensuring that each lesson is purposeful and engaging. By minimizing unnecessary information and activities, you can give students more time to deeply understand and reflect. This also helps in reducing cognitive overload and promoting better retention.
Exactly. How can focusing on fewer priorities improve project results?
When you focus on fewer priorities, you can allocate more time, energy, and resources to each one, leading to higher quality outcomes and fewer mistakes. This clarity also helps in maintaining motivation and reducing overwhelm, ultimately resulting in more successful and impactful projects. What's your next question?
In my point of view, social media make it harder for people to embrace simplicity.
I completely agree with you. Social media often encourages constant comparison and a sense of needing more, which can make it challenging to embrace simplicity and focus on what truly matters. It's all about creating boundaries and being mindful of how we engage with it. What's your next question?
Exactly. Can we apply less is more to our personal relationships too?
Absolutely. Applying the less is more concept to personal relationships means focusing on quality interactions rather than quantity. It's about nurturing deeper, more meaningful connection than letting go of superficial or draining relationships. This approach can lead to more fulfilling and supportive bonds. What's your next question?
You are exactly right. I experienced this in my own family, and result was good.
That's wonderful to hear. It's always great when those principles translate into real positive changes. If you have any other questions or want to explore more, just let me know.
Yeah. What's the difference between being busy and being productive?
Being busy usually means filling your time with tasks and activities, often without necessarily achieving meaningful results. On the other hand, being productive means efficiently accomplishing goals and creating value, often with a focus on outcomes rather than just activity. What's your next question?
What's your advice for people who fear missing out when they do less?
My advice would be to focus on the quality of experiences rather than the quantity. Remind yourself that doing less allows you to fully enjoy and appreciate what truly matters. Over time, you'll likely find that meaningful connections and experiences bring far more fulfillment than trying to keep up with everything. What's your next question?
Okay. Can you share a short example of how simplicity led to great success?
Sure, a classic example is the story of Steve Jobs and the early Apple products. By focusing on simplicity and intuitive design, Apple was able to create products that were not only user friendly, but also revolutionary. This simplicity in design led to massive success and set a new standard in the tech industry. What's your next question?
Finally, what's one message you would like to give our listeners about finding power in simplicity?
I'd say that embracing simplicity allows us to focus on what truly brings value and joy, ultimately leading to more meaningful and fulfilling lives. So by simplifying, we really find the power to thrive and grow. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know.
Thank you so much, ChatGPT, for sharing such thoughtful and practical insights. You have reminded us that less doesn't mean losing, it means focusing on what truly matters. To all our listeners, remember this: simplicity is strength. When you cut out the noise and focus on your purpose, you will see real progress and peace. This was Vikas Iqbal, instructor at Center of Excellence for Training and Development, Lahore, from Batch 4 of the TEVTA AI Teachers Training Bootcamp in collaboration with Rehan AI Teachers Institute. Stay curious, stay simple, and keep learning. Allah Hafiz.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm glad we could share these insights together. Wishing you and all the listeners continued growth and success. Take care and Allah Hafiz.